Welcome to the Depth Dive. Today, we're unpacking a really powerful and pretty provocative statement from Captain Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso.
That phrase, "we don't need you."
Exactly. It cuts right to the heart of African sovereignty, doesn't it? Especially, in a world still grappling with these legacies of foreign influence.
Absolutely. So what pushed him to say that? That's what we're looking at.
Right. And how is his stance actively reshaping things, not just in Burkina Faso, but the whole Sahel region?
And that really brings up the core tension, the central question from the material we've looked at. What if the institutions actually designed to defend Africa's independence?
Yeah.
What if they were, maybe quietly, serving foreign agendas instead?
A big what if.
It is. And ECOWAS, the Economic Community of West African States, is right in the middle of this. Founded back in '75, it was supposed to be about African unity, growth, stability.
A symbol of hope, initially.
Precisely. But according to Traoré, that perception, it's shifted a lot.
Okay, so our mission here in this deep dive is to explore how this rejection, this "we don't need you," challenges, the usual ideas about democracy and sovereignty.
And what it might mean for the future of a continent that's navigated these external influences for so long.
And we're drawing all this from a recent YouTube transcript, basically his own very direct words. So let's jump right into that declaration. We don't need you. It wasn't subtle.
Not at all. Loud and clear, aimed primarily at ECOWAS and also the European Union.
And his criticism really focuses on this idea of imposed democracy, as he calls it.
Yeah, he didn't mince words. He said something like, how can you want to impose democracy by killing millions of people? That's dictatorship. That's not democracy.
Wow. Strong stuff.
It is. And he contrasted, saying, people kill their protesters, yet they call themselves Democrats, and we are labeled as couplers. That word couplers, it's clearly pejorative.
Implying they seize power illegitimately.
Right. Even while, as he points out, you see scenes where people were prevented from entering assemblies or forces stormed into assemblies, supposedly by these same Democrats.
It's a really stark accusation. So what prompted such a strong rejection? I mean, these were supposed to be partners, right? What was the breaking point for him?
Well, like you said, Econ started with this noble vision, unity, stronger ties, all that.
So he embodied that for a while.
From decades, largely. But the narrative we're exploring suggests that, cracks started showing.
And Traoré's hitting hard, calling ECOWAS a proxy for another form of colonization. That's quite a statement.
He even says it's wearing the mask of economic and political support.
What does that mask mean, exactly, according to the material?
It seems to point to the leverage that comes with financial backing, the strings attached.
Okay.
The material gives a concrete example. The EU giving 26 million euros to ECOWAS. Officially, it's to support democracy in the Sahel.
Sounds good on paper.
But for leaders like Traoré, it doesn't feel like aid. It feels like a way to push a certain brand of governance, a Western brand, that might sideline African priorities.
So the money comes with an agenda, perceived or real.
That's the argument, that the strings are about pushing a specific ideological framework, whether it fits locally or not.
Which really puts democracy promotion in a different light if it feels imposed. How does this perception play out in ECOWAS's actions against states that don't toe the line?
Well, that's where things get tense. ECOWAS does have this reputation for targeting member states, sanctions, interventions.
When they clash with that perceived Western ideal.
Exactly. Look at Mali in 2022. After the military transitions there, ECOWAS hit them with sanctions fast.
And the impact.
Crippling for the economy, according to this source.
So for Traoré, that looks less like maintaining stability.
And more like punishment. Like punishing leaders who dare to push back against external control.
Which just deepens the mistrust.
Absolutely. Not just in ECOWAS, but maybe in those broader institutions linked to Western aid too.
How deep does this go? Is it just rhetoric, or is there more?
He paints a picture of, almost existential fear. He talks about veiled threats.
Threats? Like what?
Like people saying, Thomas Sankara tried to do it like this, but where is he? He is dead. Or mentioning the Haitian president, Gaddafi.
Wow. Using history as a warning.
Right. To try to scare us, he says, to make us cowards. You could feel the weight of that history.
And yet, his response is defiance. I think they haven't understood something, he says.
Yeah, he seems utterly convinced that these alliances, the ones tied to money and influence, they erode pride, autonomy.
And that fuels the anti-Western sentiment, not just politics, but something deeper.
It seems so. He frames it as a matter of generational responsibility. It's powerful.
How so?
He asks this question. Our children will ask us questions where our parents cowards to leave us in slavery.
Yeah, that reframes everything. It's not just politics, it's legacy.
Exactly. It's a moral weight. It makes his rejection of outside influence feel less like a strategic choice and more like a fundamental stand.
A rejection of anyone trying to dictate Africa's path while taking away their power to choose it themselves. A fight for self-determination.
Precisely.
Okay, so if he's rejecting the old system so forcefully, what's his alternative? What's the vision?
He talks about breaking away, embracing a new vision rooted in self-reliance and Pan-African unity.
So it's bigger than just Burkina Faso.
Much bigger.
Yeah.
He wants to inspire a regional transformation, it seems.
But the challenges are immense, right? Burkina Faso is facing serious issues.
Oh, absolutely. Ongoing violent threats from groups like Al-Qaeda, ISIS. They've ravaged communities.
Displacement numbers are huge.
Over 2 million people displaced. And the government only controls about 60% of the country. That's a staggering figure.
Plus diplomatic tensions, economic strain.
It's a tough situation.
Yeah.
So this vision isn't coming from a place of comfort. It's a response to crisis.
And part of that response is looking elsewhere for allies. Russia, China.
Yes, forging new alliances with non-Western powers, particularly them. It's a very deliberate pivot.
What's the thinking there? Just finding anyone but the West.
It's framed as offering an alternative to the traditional French and Western ties that have dominated the region.
Reclaiming the right to choose their partners.
Exactly. Choosing alliances that, in his view, better reflect Burkina Faso's actual priorities, not just historical baggage. Diversifying.
And perhaps the most ambitious part of this vision is the Sahel Confederation.
Yes, this proposed union, Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger.
Built on what principles?
Mutual respect, shared resources. The big goals are economic independence and coordinated defense. It's a major step.
What makes it so significant beyond just politics?
Well, they've already taken a tangible step. The AES passport, Alliance of Sahel States.
A shared passport.
Yeah. It removes travel barriers between the three countries. It's meant to foster a real sense of unity.
That's more than symbolic.
It's practical. It embodies those Pan-African ideals, breaking down colonial-era borders. It says, we're moving forward together as one bloc.
Are there hurdles?
Oh, sure. Things like sorting out customs costs, harmonizing regulations, challenges remain. But the symbolism of that passport is potent. It signals intent.
It really sets the stage for this idea Traoré keeps returning to, generational freedom.
Right. Rejecting imposed definitions of democracy, declaring we will build our sovereignty ourselves. It's a defiant stance.
And you think this resonates beyond Burkina Faso?
The material suggests it does. It ignites hope, perhaps, across a continent that has felt dominated by foreign powers for so long.
A call for real self-determination.
But acknowledging it won't be easy. True liberation requires sacrifice and resilience, as the source notes.
So wrapping this up, it's an incredibly complex picture. Traoré's defiance, his rejection of external influence, his push for self-reliance, and this Pan-African unity, it's shaking things up.
Absolutely. It really highlights the huge stakes involved, not just for Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, but potentially for the whole continent navigating its future, asserting its agency.
Which leaves us with the big question, really. What does this mean for Africa's future? Will Traoré's "we don't need you" become a rallying cry for others?
Or will those external forces, the ones he's pushing against, push back even harder?
It's definitely a story that's still unfolding. Burkina Faso, the Sahel. The impact is already undeniable, though, something for all of us to keep watching and thinking about.